Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this week Doctor Who gave us the grand tour of Coal Hill School, as well as introducing a new creature and giving us some good teasers for future Danny Pink Missy things. There was also some nice shoutouts to River Song and Gallifrey and Clara, as well as a bunch of other stuff, but I'll talk more about references after my top 5. Just a quick reminder, the giveaway for this week starts now. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. So don't worry, you didn't have to like the episode. If you didn't like it, that's okay. But careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. Here are my top 5 moments. I'll wait just a sec. Okay, ready? Here we go. Number 5, the Doctor is the new caretaker. Hat tip for John Smith. Capaldi said that he felt like the Doctor quite liked being a caretaker just because it put his endless knowledge to practical good use. I mean, yes, the main mission was preparing a trap for the Skovox Blitzer, but while he was doing that, he was also puttering around, cleaning up sinister-looking spills, fixing electric boxes, just really mundane things. It also gave him an opportunity to show off. I mean, he really does like to show off in front of women. I felt like just one of the best scenes in general was when he poked his head in Clara's window and corrected Jane Austen on the blackboard. I mean, yes, he's an insufferable know-it-all, but if you haven't listened to it, there is an audio drama where the first Doctor and Jane Austen go on an adventure in 1814. It's called Frostfire. I haven't listened to it personally, but I just like that anytime the Doctor makes a reference, the Doctor Who universe is so big that he probably did in some sort of expanded material go on said adventure. Doctor Who Extra also kind of went into some of the various jobs that the Doctors had in the past. You know, like being a lawman, being an actual teacher. Like there were a bunch of David Tennant clips. I'll mention those again whenever I get to the references. Number 4, Ellis George is Courtney Woods. She was in episode 1, and they've referenced her in the past. I know a lot of you wondered if her character was going to be a thing just because she seemed to get a lot of name drops. Even though she came back and got to go in the TARDIS, I don't think that this was a teaser for future companion. I think it was just a small field trip, like whenever David Tennant took Peter Capaldi's Doctor from Fires of Pompeii on the TARDIS. I do love that the Doctor has such a predisposition for precocious young women. Let that be a lesson to any ladies out there if you want to be the next companion. Qualifications include being really stubborn, casually dismissive of danger, and morbidly curious. They also gave Courtney Rivers' famous spoilers line, which reminded me of her Mel regeneration from Let's Kill Hitler. No, I don't think this was a Mel, or any specific reference to her. I think it was just another wink at the audience. Just like the story about the Doctor living with the Otters because of the fight with River. I know there have been a lot of rumors about Jenna Coleman leaving. I actively tried not to consider that whenever I was thinking about Courtney. I mean, you could potentially think about scenes with her on the TARDIS as being like the show test driving new companions. I don't think that's the case, but you can't help but think about it with all the rumors about Coleman. Number 3, Clara explains the Doctor to Danny Pink. I felt like this was cool because you find out what Clara really thinks about her adventures deep down inside. Like she talks about the Doctor a lot, but usually in offhanded ways. You don't really get to see inside her head that much. The Doctor and the companions do get moments of reflection all the time whenever they think about their adventures in context. Most of the time though, it's done under the guise of humor. But it's like Clara's trying to explain what candy tastes like to someone who has no taste buds. I mean, traveling with the Doctor is like the ultimate fulfillment of your childhood delight. Doctor Who can be a very cerebral show in moments like this, which is why I'm totally digging Capaldi's Doctor so much. He spends equal amounts of time inside his own head and being present in whatever moment he's in. I guess you could say all Doctors do that, but it seems like they're really highlighting that with Capaldi's Doctor, especially with all the blackboards. It just implies that he spends a lot of time talking to himself. Whenever Jenna Coleman does decide to leave, whether it's this year or next year, I think we'll start seeing more of these reflective scenes where she starts thinking about the Doctor as if she's getting ready to write a memoir about her adventures. Think of it like her version of There and Back Again, with the role of Bilbo Baggins being played by Clara Oswald. Number 2, Clara and the Doctor put on a stage play for Danny. The big reveal was appropriately epic, and I love that they turned it into a school drama production. Boyfriend error, hands down one of the best one-liners from the episode. They sweep the big curtain back and bam, the TARDIS is there, like they're a couple of magicians, which sounds even funnier when you consider the Doctor's magician joke from last week's episode. Personally, I've never seen Doctor Who done as a stage play before, and I wasn't a drama club geek when I was in school, but this felt very visceral. It also answered a lot of questions about Danny Pink's role going forward in their little triangle. Samuel Anderson called himself a companion to the companion, so yes, I think now that the curtain has been pulled back, he'll spend more time on the TARDIS with Clara. I can't wait to see some scenes with just him and the Doctor. That'll be interesting. It seems like they're both watching each other. Trust is a big thing in Series 8. Like, they keep talking about trust. Danny Pink even specifically called out the idea of trust when he was talking to Clara at the end. The title of the episode was The Caretaker. I feel like we're supposed to think Danny Pink and the Doctor both feel like they're Clara's caretaker, and that they're both like her caregiver. When he mentioned the Doctor pushing Clara too far, obviously he was talking about his time in the military, but I feel like it's also foreshadowing for something really big happening in the future. It kind of turned me around on the episode. The whole thing seemed like it was told from the Doctor and Clara's perspective, like we're inside the TARDIS as the audience all the time. So when Danny Pink learns about the Doctor, you're thinking about it from the Doctor's perspective. But the last scene makes it feel like the Doctor's the outsider, and the whole thing's being told from Danny's perspective. Like the Doctor, not Danny, is going to do something really crazy, and Danny's going to have to fix it. In support of that, just rewatch the scene where Danny calls the Doctor out on being a Time Lord, and just brings the rage out of him. And finally, my number one moment from the episode, of course, Missy is back. Where are we? That is the big question. The person greeting the policeman, whoever that was, said there was a range and he could just take his pick of what he wanted to call it, all the terms being references of where you go after death. There was the afterlife, the promised land, the nether sphere. I'm surprised that he did not say heaven. It looked more like purgatory to me, like the policeman was in the waiting room for the nether sphere. And Missy's character is technically called the gatekeeper of the nether sphere. So she's like the last step before you go to wherever that final step is in existence. When she did show up, she looked extremely preoccupied, as opposed to previous appearances when she was greeting people with smiles and tea. It definitely makes her seem much more sinister, and now I'm wondering if she's some sort of cosmic entity. Like she's not a Time Lord, she's not the Master, she's not the Rani, she's just some sort of like ethereal being in corporeal form. I mean, that's what we're being led to believe at this point based on the information we have. Like somehow she's the ruler of purgatory. Usually it's times like this whenever they pull the rug out from under you and there's a big twist and the character ends up being some sort of imposter. It doesn't seem like Missy is masquerading as anything right now, like she's not trying to deceive anyone outright. So I'm really hoping we get to see her explain herself to another character. The policeman was one of the first characters to question, WTF is going on. So I don't think it's going to be too long before we get to see the next step and someone asks Missy who she really is. Let me know what your favorite moment from the episode was, and what do you think that Danny Pink was talking about when he said the Doctor might push Clara too far? While you think about that, here are a couple of the big references I saw in the episode. If you saw any that I don't mention, just write them in the comments. So first up is all the Doctor's jobs. Over the course of his 50+ year history, he's had just about every interesting job you can imagine. The most interesting recently being the Tom Baker curator reference from the 50th. All the deputized lawmen that he's been, being an actual teacher, not just a figurative one in the context of the show. Then we have to consider all the moments of the Doctor's life that we haven't seen. Like the episodes we see are small slices of his life. I mean, he's 2,000+ years old. So I honestly think that he's had every single job that you could possibly have in the universe. And he's probably enjoyed all of them more than being labeled as a Time Lord. It would be interesting at some point to see an actual job description for a real Time Lord. The Doctor is something of a rogue, so he breaks the rules, so obviously he is not operating like a normal Time Lord is supposed to operate. Then there's John Smith, another teacher reference from when the Doctor used the name in Family of Blood. Then there's the River Song reference, I already mentioned that. I'm surprised we didn't get a Jim the Fish shout out. When the Doctor said, "I used to have a teacher just like you," I feel like he was referring to Gallifrey and Clara. I know everyone wonders whether that version of her became a Time Lord. I don't think she did. It seems like if she were a teacher at the Time Lord Academy, or wherever the Doctor went to school before the Academy, she'd have a better chance of keeping an eye on him. The giant chessboard was a little puzzling, not to make any puns, but chess has been all over Doctor Who's history. There was a giant chessboard in the Five Doctors inside the Tomb of Rassilon that was designed to be a trap. You could view this as foreshadowing for a conflict with Missy, or you could just view it as a giant visual reference to the chessboards Doctor Who has used in the past. I really like the umbrage the Doctor took whenever Danny Pink called him out for being a Time Lord. It's a nice reminder of his troubled relationship with them. Obviously, he hates the Time Lords, even though he's kind of trying to find them again. I know a lot of you are also wondering when he's going to start doing that too, like actively start looking for them. I think it's coming soon, not right away, but soon. Those were some of the more fun references that I spotted, but if you noticed any good Coal Hill references specifically from episodes in the past, just write them below in the comments. Overall, I give the episode a solid B+. I totally loved the deep dive into Coal Hill School. I loved the montages with Clara. I did feel like the episode was a little uneven in terms of pacing between the first half and the second half of the episode though, but I feel like they did that on purpose, like we were supposed to feel uncomfortable. Them opening the episode with a Clara montage was brilliant. I totally love the music they set it to. It reminds you of the many Claras doing everything. Like there are hundreds of Claras all over time and space, all just as busy as this one Clara. Like she has some sort of supernatural level of energy to match the Doctor's. The second montage at Coal Hill School was just brilliant comedy. Just watching the Doctor putter around being the caretaker while he was on his mission. The big dividing line in the episode was when the curtain gets pulled back for Danny Pink. Like that's when the record dropped and the action just stopped. In the context of the story, I totally understand why they did that there. The change in pace is supposed to make us feel uncomfortable because the Doctor is no longer the alpha male in the room. And there's still a lot we don't know about Danny Pink. I think the saying goes, 2's a company, 3's a crowd. And it's definitely like in crowd mode now. It's very crowded inside the TARDIS. So I'll be interested to see at some point if Danny and the Doctor come to some sort of terms. Just like the 11th Doctor came to terms with Rory and they eventually became good friends. I know a lot of you are still a little wary on Danny and you heard some clockwork sound effects during his dinner date with Clara. I don't think that's the case, but I suppose it's possible he does have some sort of special hidden abilities, something from his time in the military. He jumped about 6 feet in the air. You have to be pretty badass to pull that off. Did anybody else make the $6 million man sound effects whenever he did that? I don't think they were making any specific references during that stunt. I think they just filmed it that way just to show him as being very capable. I was definitely relieved to see Missy again. If it's going to be the big arc of the season, I feel like not mentioning her for weeks at a time is actually kind of a bad thing. Like, we get to this point at the end of the season where you just end up having to dump her on us just because we have no information about her. Thankfully though, they are including little bits from her as we go along, at least every couple of episodes. They are making Series 8 less serialized, so I totally understand why they're not putting her in every single episode. Like, I'm not going to complain about it. All in all, great episode. I feel like based on what I've heard about next week's episode though, Kill the Moon, that one is going to be one of the fan favorites from Series 8. Capaldi was also making some references to some specific Tom Baker stuff, so be on the lookout for extra Easter eggs in next week's episode. So I'll be posting my bonus video for this next. I'll try to get it out in the next 6 hours or so. Usually I'm pretty good about listing updates on Facebook and Twitter, so there are links for social in the description. There's a bunch of stuff going on this weekend, so I'm trying to get everything out in a timely fashion without completely killing myself. The Q&A, just like normal, is going to post on Sunday, so you have plenty of time to rewatch the episode and think of some good Missy, Danny Pink theories. Right now, click here for the bonus video and click here for the Q&A. I'll update the annotations as soon as I post those videos. So thank you so much for watching. Now let's all high five and go write our own Doctor Who stage plays.